Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So, y'all, I hope you had a great Mother's Day weekend. We were out and about the whole weekend, and I told Chris, stop me by Home Depot so I can see what they have new in May. And so, what I wanted to share with you is Southern Living is really starting to get a lot of more types of plants. I know that they've been selling to different stores, but they're starting to get different varieties of plants more and more in Home Depot. And these are just a few. Most of these are around 15 to 19.99. But if you all remember the Costco video that I did, one thing that I put up here were the braided willow plants. Now, I will tell you that Home Depot's, theirs are $10 more. They're $59.98, and then Costco, they are $49.98. Next, this is what I want to show y'all. So they have these big palm trees, and it took me a minute to really find the prices of these. I'm going to step back in a minute so I could like show you the height of these. Like, these are really big. I don't know how you're going to get these home, but they are big. So they got different types of palms. I was looking, but the price is really, really small. And so I was like, I see. So y'all let me know in the comments, would you pay, okay, would you pay $199.99 for these palms? Because they're different types, but these were the prices. Let me know in the comments. So they're starting to get a lot of their tropical plants out. They're starting to get the mandevillas. Now, they had another name on there, but I know them as mandevillas. They had birds of paradise right here, $7.98. These were white, I want to say, but they have different sizes and they have different prices from $7.98 all the way up to $19.98. And again, it just depends on the size pot that you want. And that will determine the price. But these right here, y'all, they were $34.98. Now, they still have a few more clematis. I covered these at the beginning of the season. Some of them are actually starting to bloom, but these are $14.98. And then, like, if you already want a ready-made container garden plant with different varieties, they have these right here. They marked them down just by a little bit, so now they're $29.98. And I also went inside because, again, this is Mother's Day weekend, and they had a different variety of plants. Now, we have this plant on inside of our home, y'all. These were $17.98. What I will tell you is I did not pay that. I don't know if it's the wrapping or the Mother's Day or what's going on, but I really do feel like this hydrangea is so pretty. Now, y'all know I do have house plants, but I don't have a lot. I'm more of the outside plants. And so Proven Winners has a lot of varieties of the caladium. Okay, so they have different varieties, different colors, and most of these are $9.98. So it just depends on what color that you like the best. I've always known them to be kind of like part sun shade plants, but this is what I wanted to show y'all. So they are getting a lot of different varieties, like the Proven Winners. Some are house plants. But it just, again, it depends on the size. So these are different ferns right here. They have the house plants right here. Some of them are $5.98. If you want a little fancier container, I think this was a ceramic container. I want to say it might have been plastic. But these are also an option for you. And then they had these terrariums down here that were $19.98. So this is something new that I am seeing from Proven Winner. So they're offering a lot more house plants, and then they're also offering these terrariums right here. And then they have like the bowl type plants for $29.98. They call it a venti bowl. So this is new. Let me know if you've seen this at your Home Depot. I don't know if I'm gonna try these or not, because y'all know I like to garden outside. I would think these are more kind of inside plants, but I always say inside plants are good to clean your air. So I do have them. And then here was another cart or rack of different proven winners collection. This was called the Dish Garden. So they had a collection of plants in this container right here. This was another one, y'all. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to find the prices on here for you all, but I actually had to lift this one up because I didn't see a price anywhere. So I'm lifting it up, and these are $19.98. So this is also something new from Proven Winners. But I really wanted to show y'all these white hydrangeas right here. These were so pretty, and they were coming in at $49.98, y'all. But they are pretty. They are really pretty. But $49.98. Now, if you didn't want to start your own caladiums, Proven Winners have them ready for you. $16.98. Now, they don't have as many variety of colors as I showed you inside, like if you want to start them by yourself, but that is an option. They're starting to put out a lot of the heat loving plants. So they're putting out the pentas, which is really popular here in Georgia. They're putting out the heathers here. And I'm just going by like the common name, y'all. I don't have the scientific name for you right now. But they have the angelonias. We're going to be planting some of these in our garden. This is a powerhouse plant, especially for heat and humidity. And then they had more Proven Winner selections. This was a asparagus fern for $6.48. So they really had a big display of Proven Winner plants. These are the variegated ivies right here. So a lot of their containers this size right here, they were mostly $6.48. And I just absolutely love. They're just telling you right here that these are like no deadheading, heat tolerant, but y'all know I love the sweet potato vines. This is a great spiller, especially if you want to create a container garden. And I'm going to make sure that I link my free container garden guide so that you can download it because I love creating container gardens. This is another powerhouse for a spiller. This is the Creeping Jenny. Now mine is actually coming back on the porch. And actually they came back in the back as well. Here's some more plants right here. These were the Lysianthus. This is what I had to show y'all. So probably over the last 3 to 4 years, they've really been adding a lot of Lysianthus to the selection here in Georgia. They had them in Savannah, and they also have them here. But this is one that I said I was going to try to start from seed. I know it's too late now, but I'll do that later. Lantana is another powerhouse to have, especially if you're in a southern climate. But they're getting a lot of different varieties of lantanas, and we have more Proven Winter plants. This is one that we actually had in the garden that I shared with you all. These are the cat pajamas. This is the Magic Wand Wizard of Oz. This is a type of salvia right here that's a powerhouse in the garden. This one right here were the Rock and Grow Back in Black. This is a type of sedum right here. And then this is the hostas that they had. This is like part shade, and they had a variety of hostas as well. This is another one that we have in the garden that's coming back. The Daisy May, the Amazing Daisies. That's also a powerhouse. So they really had a large selection of different Proven Winner plants. And you saw that they range from $6.98. These right here are $7.98. I cannot forget these right here. This is what we have in the garden. These are $10.98. This is Serendipity allium right here, but it's also coming back, and I can't wait to see the blooms. Let me tell y'all about this fuchsia. This is one of my favorite flowers. Does it not look like dancing ballerinas right here? And I just love this color, the contrast. And remember, I shared with you in the last video, I'm not sure what's going on with the citrus cost of the citrus plants. This little small one was $29.98, but I'll share with you towards the end some other ones that are a little bit less expensive. I'm always one to put lavender in the garden, but here I have to put it in containers. And then they have different type of salvias. These will are a pollinator magnet. You want to bring pollinators to your garden? Definitely grow you some salvias. They have some different grapes. And these are $10.98. They also have blueberries here. Now remember, depending on the blueberry, you need to look and see if it needs another variety in order for it to produce the blueberries. And these were just the Burpee plants. This is what I wanted to tell y'all. So, you know, at the big box stores, they always have Bonnie. I'm starting to see a larger space cut out for Burpee. They have a lot of plants. They had squash, y'all. They had zucchini. They had tomatoes. They had peppers. But what I was surprised to see, and these were $2.98. Now the Burpee plants are on sale, but I'm just surprised to see such a big space that they are starting to take over. Y'all be careful with those leafy greens, those cabbages. If you're in Georgia, it's almost time for them to be gone. We're actually going to pull some up because I just don't see them heading. As a cabbage, especially with the weather heating up to 90s later on this week. But just look, y'all, look at the selection of Burpee plants. This is what I wanted to share with y'all. Like, they are really taking up a lot of retail space right here. And then they, like I said, they have tomato plants, but this is the Bonnie section. So they do have their selection 3 for $10. A few weeks ago, they might have had 5 for $10 at Lowe's, if I'm not mistaken. But this week is 3 for $10. I mean, they still have some space here, but it's not like it used to be. Like, it used to be just all Bonnie plants, both at Home Depot and both at Lowe's. But I see that Burpee is making a comeback and taking up a lot of space. But they still have a great variety. Y'all see, is no sweet potatoes left. So a lot of people gonna be growing sweet potatoes here in Georgia. It was none left. But this is what I wanted to share with y'all. Like with this okra plant, if you do buy the okra, look in those cups. See if they look strong, but also get some with multiple okra plants. That way you can carefully divide them and have more than one. Just don't plant them all together. And this is what I wanted to share with y'all with the citrus. So these are a little bit less expensive. These are $19.98. They had limes, they had Meyer lemons, but I'm telling y'all, a few years ago, citrus plants were way more reasonable than what they are now. I'm not sure what's going on, but most of these on these racks, the lemons and the limes, they were $19.98. I came over here because they have the mulberry dwarf. They also have, y'all, look at this right here for $54.98. The ruby supreme guava, $54.98. Okay, this is another mulberry dwarf, but I'm like, man, they putting the prices on these plants. And so they're bringing in some new things though. Longevity spinach. This is something new that I'm seeing in this area, the longevity spinach, and these were $24.98. And then they had the southern cherry plants, they had mulberries, they had figs. Most of these were $24.98, but this is a new one. I've always seen these in Florida. But the Katuk, those are $24.98. I didn't pick up one, y'all. I got so many plants I need to plant. And then they had the red pineapple, and then they also had the white pineapple. That's what the names are for those. And then they had the big pineapples at the bottom for $44.98. So again, these are just some new things that I'm seeing here at my local Home Depot. But I am excited about the upgrowing gardening season. So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, tap that subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching. And until the next video, bye-bye.